Okay guys, let's keep talking about filters here. We're gonna tie everything in together with a bit of a longer video. I think if you saw some of our shorts, you did see how dirty filters get. That's after about 3 months. Don't forget that we always recommend you change your filters quarterly. And you'll see this if you really wanna know, check out your manual from whether you have a Carrier furnace or a York furnace, whatever you have. Almost all equipment is recommending a change of each filter on a quarterly basis, which is every 3 months. I always tell people, put it in your calendar. This is something that's super easy to forget, and you end up with a filter that's absolutely disgusting like this. Again, when you look at it side by each, brand new, 3 months, dirt, mold. I don't even want to think of what else is on there. Probably lots of skin, lots of gross stuff. So a couple of quick tips when you are changing your furnace filter, again, quarterly. The first thing you have to do is you want to turn off your furnace. So by code, if your furnace has been installed to code, you always have an on-off switch. It's usually located at about 6.5 feet up, so just above my head. And they are supposed to have it labeled either as furnace, and it's usually labeled on and off. So you find your switch, it looks just like a light switch, turn it off, you'll hear your fan die down. You go to your filter chamber, which is the inlet of the return air plenum, which is kind of a boot that drops down and angles down into the furnace. And you'll see this little piece will be sticking out just like that. You grab it by the end and you pull it straight out towards you. The important thing to remember about your furnace filter, there's an arrow on it. This arrow has to face the furnace. It has to, otherwise you'll cause problems to your furnace. See the arrow is there? It's on all sides of the filter so that we never make a mistake. And it points towards the direction of the furnace. Once you've changed your filter, you're free to turn back your furnace and everything goes back to normal. Keep in mind, the next 3 months, we do it again and again. Now, the next question is, what size filter do you have? This is the most common size we make. It's 16 by 25 by 1. So 16 high, 25 long, 1 inch thick. Most people have this filter, but they do come in different sizes. So I just wanted to show you a couple of different ones. That's a 20 by 20 by 1 inch. They make what they call box filters as well. So that's a 16 high, 25 long, 4 inches thick. This is a longer filter. This thing can last you 6 months to a year. And then they do have a range of other kind of odd sizes when you're looking at like fan coil units. Maybe you live in an apartment building and you have a fan coil, usually above your laundry room equipment. You'll start to see some interesting filters there. We did talk about MERV rating. Remember I said the MERV rating goes from 1 to 20. 16 and up is considered HEPA filtration. We don't usually use those in our standard furnace filters. I do want to start to show you though the difference on a cheap filter. So you will see, where does I have it written here? The MERV rating on this filter, I think is a 4, if I can find it. Yeah. Let's just say that it's a 4. You'll see the style of it. It just kind of looks like a fuzzy blanket. This is actually a box of 3, that's why it looks a bit thicker. This is a 16 by 25 by 1 inch, and you can see this doesn't look like very much. There's a purpose for these filters. What we use them for is actually during construction. So if I was in there renovating your basement, I would use one of these filters because they're really cheap, and I would change them weekly. And then I'm picking up all your like drywall dust and wood chippings and cuts and stuff like that. These have no purpose in your house. The air you breathe is being regulated by these filters. Please do not use these. These are considered a MERV 4. These are basically a junk filter. Now we're going to jump up to a MERV 8. You can see the number there. Again, a 16 by 25 by 1. It's a 3-pack as well. You see these filters, they kind of have these little ribs in them. They make them more efficient at catching dust and dirt. This is about the minimum MERV rating. Again, it's an 8 that I would recommend to use in your home. This will do a really good job of picking up things like pets and pet dander and mites and dust and a little bit of skin. If you live in a home and you have, for example, really serious allergies or you have some autoimmune problems, what you should look for now, when you go out, you want to look for a MERV 13 filter. That extra level of filtration will now provide you extra things. So things like smoke, smog particles. It does a little bit of virus protection for you as well. So you have to decide where you want to live on the MERV chain, I would stay away from that 1 to 4 unless you're in construction and you plan to change it, and I mean regularly, like once a week. I would do at least a minimum MERV 8 with a maximum MERV 13.